All right, go for it.
All right, Trail Manners back again. Outdoor Retailer Show, Salt Lake City. We're at the Scott booth with Scott McCoubry. Scott, you got some cool stuff. Right?
Yes.
He just handed us some poles. Woohoo! Got some cool shoes. Let's go through. Let's start with some shoes. Let's start with this one here. It's got the Super Track. I'll let you talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the new shoe in our trail line for 2017. It's called the Super Track RC. And this is really going to be that low profile, super protective, high traction, 8.8 ounce shoe for all terrain.
Show me the bottom again.
That is.
So to start off with, the most notable thing about our line is the geometry of the platform. And the geometry of the platform for us relates back to our elite athletes getting off our time trial bikes at the Hawaii Ironman event. And the idea, at the time, everybody was making barefoot shoes, 4-foot runner shoes, while we were making an 8.1 ounce big-headed tennis racket. And the idea is that no matter how you hit it, it's going to roll you smoothly to toe off. So when that triathlete is fatiguing late in the game, he still has a real nice kick in his step. And so we focus the thickness on all of our shoes. The apex of the platform tops out right at the middle of your heel. And in the racing shoes, we extended 57% forward so you get optimal cushioning at that mid-heel to mid-foot stripe. Then we do a drastic taper off the tail of the shoe and do an early rise off the toe of the shoe, giving it kind of this rockered appearance. But the whole concept was originally to put a kick in that fatiguing triathlete's step. What we found was that along with speed changing where you foot strike on the shoe, also the very terrain changes where you strike on the shoe. So the E-Ride geometry is especially effective on the very terrain. You get this real smooth dynamic from the heel on the downhills. You get optimal cushioning from mid-heel to mid-foot on the flat. And then that early rise gives you a 4-foot platform that lets you stand up on it on the uphills. It still rolls back to mid-foot and then rolls off. Okay, now taking that platform and really dialing it in for that specific use of that lightweight, high traction trail shoe is what's happening here with this Kinabalu RC. We have a new engineered EVA platform, okay, and that engineered EVA is fine-tuned to give you a little bit more cushioning at the lateral foot strike with just a little more built up medial side to the shoe. At the same time, it has a lot of shape side to side, so this is a lot lower profile than it actually looks. You're actually sitting down into the shoe right about here with a lot of shape in the shoe, okay? That allows you to sit down in the platform, giving you a lot of stability out of that midsole platform. We do these midfoot wraps with the overlays, which wraps that midfoot and kind of sucks you right down into the platform. And then we're taking from our old triathlon shoe, where we had this synthetic leather tongue.
That's one thing that stands out for sure when you look at it.
And it allowed you to shove your foot into there in the transition, not have the tongue suck down on your foot. For trail, we're finding that it's very sticky and it holds the foot, and so you get very little movement in the shoe. It really feels like it's a part of your foot. Okay? What we really wanted to innovate here was the concept of traction. One thing we've done with all of our trail shoes is maintain a lot of surface area on our tread so that you get a very smooth dynamic so that the traction in the tread doesn't take away from that road feel to the shoe and the smoothness of the transition. The other thing we found that by angling it, it can create a lot of cushioning in the shoe as well. So even in our road shoes, we're using carbon rubber in the shape of the lug to increase the cushioning of the shoe. And it's really obvious here in the shape of these treads. That extra surface area, a lot of times when you get a cleaty lug on a shoe, it starts to get slippery on the pavement and on the wood. So what we do is scythe it, so it is allowed to actually adapt and conform and increase that stickiness on the smoothest surfaces. The real innovation here, though, is the radial aspect of the traction, okay? The soccer cleats out there now, they have a very center focal point and they rotate around it to slow down that motion of braking when you're in the grass. So what we did is we took that concept and adapted it to run. We moved the focal point where you need it to the ball of the foot and the heel. So you get this nice rubber protection and post, so to speak, right under the ball of foot and the heel of the shoe, right under your calcaneus, where the bone is most exposed to the ground. And then we radiate out from there in a circular kind of motion, which addresses all directions of traction. What kind of came out of this by default is it created this amazingly supportive, protected platform in the shoe with the cushioning of the lugs. But because your focal point where the weight of the shoe of your foot is radiating out, as you can see how it circles around that, and it creates this cradle for the ball of your foot and this cradle for the heel of your foot, and it feels like you're being cradled and held, and provides kind of a suspension system and create this really balanced platform for an 8.8 ounce shoe that's only a 5mm variance and lower profile. Variance in our shoe, the heel to ball differential, it can't really be applied here, standardized like the other brands, because we are carrying the thickest point of our shoe 57% forward here and 53% forward here. And so what happens is, as the difference is increased as far as that variance goes, the foot stays the same in our platform. And so our 11 ounce variance, in our 5 ounce variance, in our 8mm variance, your foot is still in the same profile all the way through the line, giving it a very consistent feel all the way from the road up to the high performance and then most supportive of our trail running shoes in the lineup.
So kind of the $1 million question now that everybody wants one of these, when is this going to be at market?
So this particular shoe with the new tooling here comes out probably mid to late December. Okay. We'll be hitting our warehouses. You'll definitely see it in the stores by January.
Okay.
So it's very limited production. So we thought this was going to be a race shoe in those early range. So get it quick if you see it out there. But now that I've run in it, this thing will go out 4 or 5 hours.
So now it's truly a race. It's a race to get it first, right? Because
exactly.
It's going to be gone.
Racing Concepts means race to
the shop, get it, go online, check it out. It's an awesome shoe, just holding it. It's lightweight, feels awesome, looks killer.
So Eric, what you leaning on?
So this is pretty sweet. It's the new Scott, right? So
This is the new Scott.
I'm not going to be the guy to explain any of this. I'm going to tell you what, it's light. That's my take on it. Scott's going to give you a rundown on it because it's ridiculous.
Due to our involvement in the international and U.S. skyrunning series, we wanted to create this RC Racing Concepts line so you can go head to toe in high performance stuff that's going to work for longer distances, more rugged terrain, therefore the everyday runner, as well as the elite runner, and create this Racing Concepts lineup for that kind of venue. This particular pole comes in at about 5.3 ounces. Okay,
it's crazy light.
As stiff as your Nordic poles out there. It is a fixed length, so you're getting that stiffer dynamic for really engaging the core when you're running uphill. Along with that 5.3 ounces, what's most innovative here is the ability to keep your hand in the loop and adjust the length of the pole.
So you see
What
that? That's pretty
does
awesome.
gives you that ability to, on the side hill, quickly adjust where you're at and not lose your pole off a 500-foot cliff or something along those lines. That gives it that also the adaptability in length for adjustment for your height as well. 25 centimeters of adjustment and 5.3 ounces. Super
amazing.
cool, innovative.
Yeah.
Now,
What else
to
we got?
complement that, we have this really nice harness system on our pack, and this is one of our RC Racing Concepts vests. So this is a 4-liter, fits like a garment, everything stretches so that you can really suck it into the body, and if you need to pack it fuller, we got really nice stretch compression there, as well as a zip pocket. The movability and the conformability of all those stretch materials is really good, with some moisture wicking happening here next to the body. And then it comes equipped
Soft flasks.
16-ounce soft flasks. What's nice about the soft flasks, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. It distributes that water load more evenly, which makes the pack fit even better, which keeps that vest really acting like a pack that fits like a garment and performs like a pack that has a frame on it.
it's nice and snug, not a lot of bounce, right? No matter what you put in there.
You can also see we're doing a high-performance clothing line here in that RC range as well. It's geared towards racing on trail. We're doing a coat that goes along with it.
And is all this coming out like, say, January or spring?
Yeah, that
For the whole
January,
line?
spring 17 time frame.
All right. Same thing, kind of online, local run shops.
Yeah, you know, where we're putting our focus is in that specialty run side of things, and especially outdoor. It's the completeness of the trail running line is very compelling now for the specialty outdoor market. Originally, we came into the marketplace, and our initial placement was going into the pure specialty run shops to get the geometry of the road shoes.
As you can see, it's dialed in, right?
It is.
It's the look of them, the style of them, and the whole concept from head to toe. You know, the gear, the shoes. I'm telling you what, this is the real
That thing's
deal,
pretty
man.
sweet.
I mean, it's holding in your hand. This is something you want to check out.
That and
Don't
that
forget,
pole, the pole.
That pole.
Oh,
5
man.
point, what,
That thing's
4?
5.3
money.
ounce.
5.3 ounces. It's
In Europe, they call it your vertical K racing pole.
Yeah.
Here, I will call it your lightweight trekking to backcountry inner ski.
there you go. And there's nothing to it, you know. Really.
It's crazy sauce.
Yeah, this part here, that's sweet, right? Adjust any size you can fit into that pole. Good things coming from Scott. Scott, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks
We'll have
for
some
coming in.
links. We'll check this stuff out. And don't be surprised if you see some of this on the Gear Garage coming up pretty quick. So come back later.